Welcome to the Lifeline, a production of Simply BJE. The goal of this podcast is to build, inspire, and to empower our listeners through conversations on business, leadership, and mental health. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at www.simplybje.com/the Lifeline. Now, let's tune in for today's episode. Top of the day, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Lifeline. We're your host, life strategist, and entrepreneur Bo Powell, social media influencer and owner of the For Real brand Lindsberg Petway, and yours truly, leadership consultant and mental health advocate Barry J. Elliott. You can visit us at www.simplybje.com/the Lifeline and on social media on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on TikTok. Today, once again, we have special guest Dennis L. Reed II, CEO and creative genius behind the DRII Productions. He is a community activist. He is a businessman. He's so many things. He's a father. And so today we're grateful once again to have him with us. So today we're going to start out with something a little bit different. We're going to play a game of rapid fire, and Petway is going to lead us in that.
All right. So D. Reed II, I got a couple quick questions, and tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. The favorite film that changed your life?
Godfather.
Powerful. That was a good one. The hardest business you ever learned, business lesson you ever learned?
Giving people money that I don't like.
Okay. And the last one line that sums up your purpose.
Purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, obviously, Dennis, man, you do a lot of different things, man. You got restaurants, movies, books, and stuff like that. But what inspired you to launch Homestead Entertainment and give independent creators their own distribution platform?
I had did that with three other people. So it was me, my cousin Sean, and then a guy named Rob Johnson, and a guy named Lynn Burnett. And Lynn and Rob had reached out to me, and we started Homestead, which is a dope company. But I ended up leaving to start 1919 Distribution because I wanted to be able to have more control over my career. And also be able to help filmmakers a little bit more in my views. But what I learned, and it's funny that Lynn said that about, Petway said, what's one of the business lessons I started. I wish that one of the businesses that I wish I would have lessons. I said not giving money to people that I don't like. It would probably be that I will get in business. I will do background checks on people I do business with. Because one of the things with Homestead is, I knew my cousin Sean, but I didn't know the other two guys. And it's not that they were bad guys, you know what I mean? But I wish I would have just known a little bit more about them before I jumped in bed with them. And like with Lynn, I think Lynn is like he owned Vibe magazine, and I didn't like him at first, but he ended up being somebody that I still consider him a good person. The other guy, I think that he a good person for him. Like I don't have nothing bad to say about him. He just probably not somebody I would do business with, but it's not, and he probably would say the same thing about me. You know what I mean? He's not a bad person. It's just like every time everybody business just don't go together. You know what I mean? And that's all. It just I will probably do better research on people, but I don't have nothing bad to say about nobody. It's like I think that it's a lesson in every business that I've ever done with anybody, and the Homestead was like one that I just, I'm glad that I did it. It showed me a lot, and I'm still learning.
Good stuff. So, in addition to doing background checks on people that you went into business with, we see that you have achieved 5 times, 10 times the return on several businesses. So, what are some of the other business principles that make that possible?
Do stuff that you love.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Do stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you love. And a lot of times people want to do what other people like them to do when you are the culture setter. Like the one thing about the Wayans that I totally love, they kept their family in their business and they was helping their family build their business, but they didn't give their family the business. So when Keenan was building the business, his brothers had to come to him with a plan in order to make the be in his stuff. Or he'll put this person in it, you know? And I just think that's dope. Like I've learned so much, man, from business that, you know, getting a 10 times the investment on a movie. I've done that a few times, more than a few times, but it's been because I write about things that I personally love. Like I'm not trying to like I've never seen Spider-Man. I've never seen Superman. I've seen The Godfather. I've seen The Wire. I've seen stuff that I like. You know, I love talking about drama and love. Like I love that. You ain't gonna see me write nothing about butterflies. I'm just not doing it. You know, so
Hmm.
just if you want to win in business, do something that you love. If you love to cook and that's what you really, really love to do, you don't necessarily have to open up a restaurant, but you could cater. Like I pay a caterer dang on there $4,500 a week just to cook our food on set. That's good money.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's the one thing about this movie thing. I'm paying a writer sometimes. I'm paying a lights and grips. I'm paying a person to film it. I'm paying the editor. I'm paying actors. I'm paying people that doing hair. I'm paying people that doing makeup. I'm paying people that cook food. I'm paying people that do sets. These are the things that we're doing. So, like, I built my own little community here at DR2 and at the studio that's here too. It just if you want to win, man, you got to do something that you love for it won't be work.
Right, right. You use the word passion, and a lot of people create things, but they struggle to turn their art into income. I think you kind of hit it on, but the question is, what advice would you give filmmakers who want to build wealth through storytelling? Because there's one thing to have a passion for something, but also you want to be successful at it and make money. So what's the little key? I remember you was at the gym and you told me it was every 12 minutes in your movie. Yeah, so kind of share that with you. Is that trade secret?
Um, you it, it's mainly just promoting your thing. Um, like what I told you is just basically when I do a movie, if the movie is an hour and 20 minutes, every 10 minutes I gotta give you something that's gonna make you go, what? So like even with this podcast, right? Let's keep it real. It's three guys, black guys, and y'all relate to other black guys. But in order for the podcast to go crazy and for you guys to make a lot of money in it, you got to have those moments that people are like, in order for people to watch it. So when I think like that, it's like I always think about the sound clip that's gonna make you be able to get somebody to watch it, you know. And when you have that, you just make more money. And it's sad that I only think about money a lot of times, but money is what pays our bills. Money is what makes you have that beautiful house that you have and be able to take your wife or your girlfriend on that beautiful trip and go to some dope restaurants and your kids not be hard up. And with this movie thing, people rush through movies. They don't rehearse. They don't do nothing because the only thing they want to do is just make a movie and they just want to be famous. With me, we rehearse for a month and a half. We do pre-production. We do post-production, and we scout. We do so much that we just not going on set just saying action. I take it serious, man. And that's why my movies are better than most people because I take it serious. So I don't care how good the material that you write is. If the look ain't there, you're not gonna be able to get the dollars that you want. But the sad part is you you may get that one hit wonder and then the rest of your stuff go away. And that's what I was talking about earlier. That's when you know if you really love something or if you just really doing it for money, you know?
Hmm.
That's good, man. Well, I know you've helped, raise money for a lot of local filmmakers. So what drives your commitment to like opening doors for other people, man? I think that's huge.
I think it is I think I've been burnt with doing that so many times now that it's more of now I understand that I understand Jay-Z a lot more now. And I understand like Dame a lot because I talk to Dame often. But I understand Jay a little bit now because like with Dame, talking to him, Dame is so lasered in on the culture. Like he want everybody in the culture to win. When Jay want people to win, but he want people to earn that win. You know what I mean? So my mother used to always say, there's going to be some casualties in war. And if it's not casualties, if it ain't none, you know, if everybody winning, what's the purpose of winning? What's your purpose of winning if everybody winning? If you giving everybody stuff, you messing them up. So when I hear culture vulture, well, you gatekeeping and you doing this, well, you're not gatekeeping. You are keeping your contacts to yourself because you work years to get them contacts. These new generation of people want you just to give them everything. And I look at how Jay-Z move and I look at how Dave move and I be laughing like, now I understand. Because when you are successful, people want your crown. And a lot of us feel like we should give it to them. No, you have to earn it. Because I had to earn it. So me helping people now, you have to be in my circle. And I'm talking about, and my circle is really a dot. You know, like if Lee Master Spradlin come to me and say, let's do a movie, I'll be like, all right, bro. If Derek Smoke come to me and say, let's do a movie, nah, bro. Nah. Cause now you gotta help the people close to you. Them other people, let them find their own way. And Dennis 3 years ago would not have said that. You know what I mean? Dennis 3 years ago would be like, help the world. Nah, you help the world around you. You help, like, it's all changing. You know, I understand why people do and move the way they move. Like, I'm not really into politics like that, right? But the one thing about Democrats, they want to give everybody the world. They want to give them the world. We want to give you welfare. We want to give you health care. We want to give you, give you, give you. And then the Republicans like, look, man, I'm rich and I want to get richer and I'm gonna get richer. I'm understanding them a lot now because when you always giving somebody something, they don't respect it, man. They don't respect it. When you giving somebody all your advice, all your resources, all your stuff, they don't respect it. They think that they supposed to have. When you really work for your stuff, that's when you respect it. That's when you love it. That's when you losing sleep because you want it to be better. Man, I'm changing when it comes to that, man. I'll let y'all know.
You
So
know, and that's a lesson we all have learned in different levels. Maybe not as expensive as yours, making movies with different people. Um, but Detroit is gaining national attention for its creative scene. Where do you see the next big film wave for Detroit? And I know you're part of the tsunami that's making it happen. But what do you see is happening next for Detroit?
I just think that we're gonna create that. we're gonna keep on just making better movies. You are getting better quality movies. You are getting better acting in their movies. You are getting higher budgets in your movies. So I think that's gonna be really big. I think the storytelling is getting bigger. I think that people are actually moving to Detroit instead of Atlanta to come here and do independent
Mm,
movies. I think that a lot of people are now really looking at our blueprint,
Mm,
one that I feel like me and Moolah kind of put together. You know, like Moolah, I feel like Moolah films is dope, just as dope as DR2. I feel like what Lisa Brown is doing is amazing. I feel like what Rocky Black and them is doing, and what Dewan and Ford and them and all, I feel like they all doing a good job. What Lee Master is doing, what China is doing. You know, we have a lot of people here that's doing a lot of good stuff. Eddie, you know, they doing a lot of good stuff. Levon and Sanya, they all doing, some really good movies. And, even I left off Kamal Smith. I wish I shouldn't have, because I feel like Kamal is one of them people that, they do good movies, and they're getting better. And the one thing that I'm happy about is when you have people from Detroit doing good movies that make you have to do better movies. It puts
mm,
you to be greater. So a lot of times people get mad when people are getting that. No, I feel like if you making a good movie, then that's like we don't have to be friends. It made me want to do something even better and something more doper, and it pushing me to be greater. And that's what I think Detroit is doing. And they doing it at a smaller budget than Hollywood and even Atlanta and even Chicago and New York. So now the chances of you losing your shirt is not as bad as losing 3 or 4, 5 million. You may only be losing 150, but you won't lose if you promote it right anyway.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. So obviously, man, you've done a lot, films, books and stuff like that. So what's next? I mean, you got to be thinking legacy at this point. So, what does legacy mean for you at this point?
I used to think that legacy meant that making sure that your kids never have to worry about getting a job. Um, with me now, I want to build a studio into being bigger than everybody's studio in the world. I want to make some phenomenal movies and series. I want to, I do want generational wealth, but I want to come with a price. Like I want my kids and I want the people that I help make millionaires and billionaires. I want them to have to understand that you have to work for it. Because anytime you give somebody something they don't respect it, man. You know, and I think that it's funny because when B said he goes to counseling or therapy, you know, I feel like that is something that everybody should have to do. Like my mother used to have a phrase, "I'm not rich enough to be crazy."
Mm.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's good.
I didn't understand that phase, man. That phrase until I got older. I'm not rich enough to be crazy. You have to. People need therapy, and the sad part is like a lot of people that is committing suicide today because they don't have no adversity. They never had no adversities, man. Like we don't like. I grew up in the hood, right? So I was told no. I grew up in the hood that somebody stole my stop coat when I was walking down the street. You know what I mean? I grew up in the hood that my homeboy got killed right there in front of me. I grew up in the hood. Like, and I'm not saying I ever wanted my kids to grow up like that. But when you don't make your son take out the trash, when you don't make your son cut the grass, when you don't make your son shovel the snow, because we don't want them to have the life that we had.
Mhm.
Like even the foods that we eat. Like when I was growing up, my mother made us rice, liver, onions, peppers, gravy.
I'll
Bro,
be slim.
it's like we don't give our kids we don't give them no adversity.
Mm.
So as soon as anything happened, they messed up. They want to kill themselves. They want to say they mental health. That's us, man.
Mm. Mm.
We so like if I could do anything, like if I could go back in time right now and be thinking about what my legacy should be, I would have changed how I raised. I would have changed how I picked my women. I would have changed how who my friends are or was. I would have changed just everything, man. If I could just go back, you know, if I could go back, like my mother used to be like, always have your kids by one woman.
Yep.
My stupid butt, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. My mother had 5 kids with one man. All her trees, all her fruit was under one tree.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I wish I listened, man. I got up and had to cut the grass. I had to shovel the snow. And matter of fact, you shovel the lady's snow in that store because she old. I got into a whole, or I'll never forget, I got into a whole argument with my son mother about him cutting the grass.
What? Oh no, cut the grass, boy.
Yeah.
You got
And,
no
and,
choice.
and you know what though? And that was her son, it wasn't my son. But I was raising him,
Right, right.
right? And it's like, she was not right for me. Wasn't a bad person. She wasn't right for me. Those are things that I wish that I listened to, man. Like, you want somebody that's going to listen to advice and then you can listen to their advice. If that unequally yoked thing is real, like
Boy,
it is real,
boy.
man. It like, but we don't even have those kind of conversations. Like the conversations with our sons. Like like my son just went through this thing because he was dating this girl that's super famous. And then she cheat on him, and now the whole internet going crazy. And he looking at it, he reading it. And I'm like, bro, why are you even caring about that? Every man in the world been cheated on. It's gonna happen. I'm glad it happened to you at this age. Get over it. Oh my God, man, you better
Straight up.
Toughen up, man. It's a life lesson.
Yo, like you can't let these feelings mess you up with your business, man. You got 4 years of college. You can get a bag if you do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, it's your fault. Oh,
Boss.
your fault, man. And these are the things that I'm trying to teach people. And these are the things that people gotta go through. You know, these are the things that they go through, you know. But it's a life lesson,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Life lesson.
Man, so Dennis, man, this has been another powerful conversation. But before we close it out, man, what would be a message that you would give to young, aspiring filmmakers, storytellers? What would be your message to them if they're listening in?
You're dope. Trust your dopeness. Trust your dopeness. You're dope. And if you really want this, just know like it's not gonna be easy. But if it was easy, everybody be doing it. It's okay for everybody to talk about you. Let them say that your stuff is trash. But always listen to them though. Don't think everybody hating on you. Right? Sometimes people are going to tell you things that you're not going to like about your film. Don't think they hating. Find out why they said it. Ask them, and don't be negative about it. If somebody on the internet saying your movie trash, DM them and say, "Well, what can I do to make it better?"
Mm,
But
that's
that's what
good.
happened to me. What made me be the writer that I am is somebody told me that my movie started off slow. So when she told me that, I made sure that for the rest of my book started off slow, not my movies. That my book started off slow. And once she told me that, it changed my whole writing style to saying, let me make something go crazy in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Because you want to keep people entertained. But if you think everybody's hating on you, you think everybody dogging you, and you're not open to listen to advice, you're gonna lose. And you don't want that to happen.
Wow.
What's up,
Oh,
man? So again, man, just let everybody know how they can connect with you on social media, on the internet.
Um, www Dennis, DR the number 2 productions.com. Then on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which is X now, and TikTok, it's just Dennis Reed with 2 I's at the end. And you can watch my movies on Tubi, on Peacock, and Amazon Prime. That's about it.
Awesome, man. So glad you joined us this morning, Dennis, man. And this concludes another episode of The Lifeline with your host, Barry J. Elliott, Lynchburg Petway, and yours truly, Bo Powell. Don't forget to check us out at www.simplybje.com/The Lifeline and on social media. Look, we're on a mission, and we want to bring light and life into your household. So join us and let us hear your feedback, because it's all about bringing life to you. The Lifeline. Y'all take care.
Thank you for listening to today's episode with host, business expert, and life coach Bo Powell, social media influencer and entrepreneur Lynchburg Petway, and leadership coach and mental health advocate Barry J. Elliott. Join us next week for another impactful conversation on The Lifeline. God bless.